guys happy Hanukkah and all the other beautiful lights that we celebrate this Christmas. Okay, the holiday season is upon us, in case you didn't know that. It kind of snuck up. It always feels that way, but it really felt like it snuck up this year. Like we didn't have warning, even though the Christmas music has been playing, and everywhere we go, the Christmas ads are off already. However, it arrived, though. It's here, and while the outside world is embroiled in the trappings of holidays, season, and we may be as well, but each week at Joyful Gathering Spiritual Center, we're going to turn inward. This is going to be a place where you can come in where we can turn inward to really connect with the indwelling Father, the indwelling self, the divine within each and every one of us, to find a rich and a deep transforming meaning to I want to go through one of the most popular, well-meaning, and often cited prayers, the Lord's Prayer or the Our Father. So it's a prayer that most of us have probably heard a lot. Well, we're just going to take a slightly different look at it because it's really quite beautiful and it's really quite meaningful. And I'm going to be citing from a book by Emmett Fox called Sermon on the Mount. Okay? So this is what he wrote on page 147, if you have that book. The Lord's Prayer was carefully constructed by Jesus with certain very clear ends in view. That is why, of all his teachings, it is by far the best known and the most often quoted. Undoubtedly, everyone who is seeking to follow along the way that Jesus led should make a point of using the Lord's Prayer and using it intelligently. And we in New Thought, this is a New Thought center, which means that we're really dedicated to practicing unity, not separation. So our take on this prayer will be a little different than maybe a Christian take on it, because ours is about, and Jesus taught this, about unity. The Father and I are one. So we're going to focus on that oneness. So we know that in New Thought, absolutely, we follow along because to us and to Ernest Holmes, the founder of religious science, he taught that the Father and I are one. He was one of the very first New Thought teachers. And by New Thought, it's really ancient wisdom. This is wisdom that goes back to forever. These are spiritual truths that we practice here that work. As we just heard from the soul sharing, they really, really work when we work them. So, Jesus said of Jesus, Holmes said, Jesus didn't actually write Holmes's book, although some parts of it sounds that way. But Ernest Holmes said in the Science of Mind book, we do believe that in the unique personage of Jesus the Christ, remember the Christ means anointed one. It was a title given to many people, but this is really good. So the unique personage of Jesus the Christ was more fully orbed than in anyone of whom we have record. We do believe that in the person of Jesus, more of God was made manifest. We also believe that Christ came alike to each and all. There is no one particular man predestined to become the Christ. We must understand that the Christ is not a person, but a principle. It was impossible for Jesus not to have become the Christ, as the human gave way to the divine. I'm going to continue with this. As the man gave way to God, as the flesh gave way to spirit, as the will of division gave way to the will of unity, Jesus the man became a living embodiment of the Christ. Remember, anointed one. If we can look upon Jesus from this viewpoint, we shall be able to study his life as a living example. If we take the teachings that he taught, we will see that they go right in alignment with New Thought. They are perfect examples of unity. And so this man, his living example, the way shower whose birth we celebrate this month, even though if you were here last week, how many were here last week? Raise your hand. Okay, so we had Dale Allen Hoffman as our guest speaker. And he has a little different take on this. And historically, he's absolutely, probably correct. You know, all of this is made up stuff. All religions are made up. Nobody really knows, right? That's the truth. Nobody really knows. So, you know, his way of delivering it, though, even though I believe historically it could be quite true, you know, and if you were here, you know what I'm talking about. If you weren't, I'm not even going to try to quote the man. We love Dale. We love Dale. But I like the spirit of the holidays, too. I like celebrating. I don't care, you know, what name we give it, because I just love the energy and the joy and the celebration of the light of God that we're celebrating all the time. But it seems that more people come together in the month of December. We have Hanukkah, we have the Christmas, we have all kinds of different traditions that celebrate these religious holidays, and we're celebrating the light. If it makes us feel good, let's do it. Right? If we're harming no one, let's do it. I don't care what anyone's viewpoint is. I respect it all, and I just want to be in a place of joy and peace and love, and I want to celebrate the light that shines within each and every one of us. And I know that it does. I know that it does. So again, Emmett Fox, from his book, Sermon on the Mount, writes this: the great prayer, which we're going to get into, is a compact formula for the development of the soul. It is designed with the utmost care for the specific purpose so that those who use it with understanding will experience a real change in the soul. I would say a change in humanity. I don't think the soul really changes, but anyway, this is Emmett Fox. The only progress is the change of the soul. The mere acquisition of fresh knowledge received intellectually makes no change in the soul. The Lord's Prayer is especially designed to bring this change about. So true spiritual knowledge, or as we would call it, spiritual mastery. We learn so much from all these spiritual books and spiritual teachings, but where we are changed at the core to live, move, breathe, and have our being from, and to connect with the sources within us. It's the only place that we can really do our work is within us. We can't do it outside. We can receive that inspiration, and that uplifts us. This is good, but we still have to do the responsibility, the clearing away, the embracing within ourselves. It cannot be done anywhere else. And this is all so that we can live a life of happiness, of joy, of celebration. So this is a holiday we're celebrating. Whether Jesus was actually born on that date, as many quantum physicists and different people with different beliefs don't think so, I don't care. I just know I love a good celebration. And so I'm going to celebrate it, and it's for the good of humanity, so why not celebrate it? I love it. I love it. Happy Hanukkah, happy Christmas. So this powerful ancient prayer that helped get us there, it can do that when you really hear the translation, has gone through many, many different translations and interpretations. So we're going to explore 3 of them this month. The Aramaic language, like Greek, Hebrew, Arabic, has layers and levels of meanings. I love to take a word and just mess it up. It's the best thing. But anyway, it has many levels and layers through the interpretations, and the words are organized and defined by a poetic system. This is good. Where different meanings can apply for all these different words. That's the beauty of all these translations, but a lot of things get lost in the translation. So every line of the Lord's Prayer could be translated into English from several different ways. And it has been. It has been. So today we're going to look at a beautiful translation that goes like this. This is the translation from the Aramaic language. So just listen to this one. This one's really beautiful, and this is the one I want to focus on this month. So, this is the Lord's Prayer. O thou, from whom the breath of life comes, who fills all realm of sound, light, and vibration, may your light be experienced in my utmost holiness. Your heavenly domain approaches. Let your will come true in the universe just as on earth. Give us wisdom for our daily need. Detach the fetters of fault that bind us, like we let go of guilt of others. Let us not be lost in superficial things, but let us be freed from that which keeps us off from our true purpose. From you comes the all-working will, the lively strength to act, the song that beautifies all and renews itself from age to age, sealed in trust, faith, and truth. A little bit different than we might have been taught. I was brought up Roman Catholic. Slightly different than the Our Father we might be used to. Gahil Gibran in the prophets said, what is prayer but the expansion of yourself into the living ether? It's a substance all around us. What is prayer but to expand who we are and what we feel? Prayer is to connect with that which is within and is without. It's everywhere. There is no place this divine substance is not. Divine energy flows in and through all of life. And so therefore, we have been created out of this energy. So this morning I want to do two things. I first want to focus on those two verses of this prayer with a bit of conversation, and then grounded in that conversation, I want us to have an experience of the rest of the prayer. Sound good?
Yes.
Are you all with me so far? Yes. Okay. You never know. O thou from whom the breath of life comes. Isn't that beautiful right there? Who fills all realms of sound, light, and vibration. What we believe. May your light be experienced in my utmost holiness. It's beautiful. I don't know about you, but for me, those words are extremely uplifting. And if something is uplifting, what's being uplifted? What's being uplifted? That's the question to ask ourselves. You know, when we're feeling these really great intuitive feelings and this upliftment, it's like, what is being uplifted? It's that divinity that is hearing the truth spoken. And when the divine within us resonates with that which is spoken, it rings so true within that we can't help but be uplifted. And that is the beauty of our teachings. Here, Eric Butterworth once wrote this: you may believe that there is a cosmic force that acts upon you, that guides you and heals you. But in the principle of unity, you are not simply the creation of God, molded and shaped and set out on the path of life. You're more than that. You are a force or a presence of God expressing itself as you. And you have no existence outside of that force or that presence. The purpose of all religion should be to help people to find this cosmic awareness of the unity with God. That is really the purpose, I think, of any spirituality, is to really connect with our divine self. And here's the Master Teacher's words. May your light be experienced in my in my utmost holiness. Greg Braden, really, if you don't know about him, he's quite quantum energy field, writes books, many books. I got this is from YouTube, this is what he has recorded and has proven. So I want to quote. He said that the way we answer one question, just one question, will inform everything in our lives. It will be the foundation of every decision that we make about relationships, jobs, health, every choice we ever make by this one question. And it is a deceptively simple question. It is one that humanity has been asking for millennia and seeking the answer to outside of itself. So I'm sure you want to know what the question is, right?
Yes.
It's so simple. It's been going on. The Buddhists have been doing it. Who am I? Who am I? In true reality. So we're going to go through a different levels of who I am. So Greg Braden proceeded to address the question through scientific research, which we seem to love, right? Scientific research. But it's not research that's being publicly shared right now. It's not what we've been told, all of history, you know, I think most of us know it's been made up. So, you know, we get to a certain age and some of us come to that awareness and we have to unlearn it and relearn a whole different way. So science tells us now, although it's not yet being taught, but Braden has researched it. He said that humanity, this is so interesting, humanity did not evolve from struggle and strive over eons of time, evolving from an amoeba in the water up to Neanderthal. Rather, we have arrived today about 200,000 years ago with everything intact as it is today. So this is news to a lot of us. Scientific research has been done. Here's an unpacking of that research. In 1987, Lucy was discovered. Lucy was a Neanderthal infant from whom they were able to take DNA. The scientists thought they had found the first person, they found it, right, from whom we had all evolved. And it was very, very exciting until they saw the results of the DNA test. It showed something very profound and shocking. Her DNA was not the same as ours. It is now believed, yet not publicly being taught or discussed in the scientific world, but science has proven this, that the Neanderthal, who did evolve from the apes, by the way, and the human as we are today, which is called the anatomically modern human, walked the earth at the same time. Neanderthal and human together. It is now, I'm going to say that again, so it's kind of like big. It might be the first time you're hearing it, I didn't make it up. It is now believed, yet not publicly being taught, okay, that the Neanderthal, who did evolve from the apes, and the human as we are today, which is called the anatomically modern human, walked the earth at the same time. And that is what we are. We are anatomically modern human. So you are. And we survived. The Neanderthal didn't. We have survived up until now, and hopefully we will continue to survive. The Neanderthal did not. So with this discovery, though, science and religion are kind of melding into one. And even though I'm not really into the Garden of Eden story, God created Adam as an anatomically modern human. The science and spirituality really could walk hand in hand. But what would happen to all the scientific teachings? What would happen to our history? They would have to rewrite everything, right? Everything that has been said and published and taught would have to be relearned. So I guess they're just leaving it the same. But Lucy is not, her DNA is not the same as ours. So who are you? Right? Who are you? Our DNA, utterly unique to us, by the way, us humans, wires us to have deep intuition, empathy, precognition, compassion, self-healing abilities, wisdom, great resilience, insights no other being alive has. This intuition, they might have instinct, they might have all different kinds of intelligence, but we as humans have this intuitive self. We seek a higher power. We seek to find something that created us and all that is. And no other species really goes about doing that. So who are you? Again, you are God's light. That is who you are. You are holy. You are here because you can express that infinite light within you. It can come up and you can truly express your God self, the beauty of who you are. So the first two lines of this most holy prayer are a call for us to remember that. O thou from whom the breath of life comes, who fills all realm of sound, light, and vibration, may your light be experienced in my utmost holiness. And we teach a affirmative prayer here. It's called spiritual mind treatment, and it's affirmative. But those are really the first two steps of prayer. We talk about God is. God is all this good. God is love. God is peace. God is wholeness. And we name all these qualities. And then the second step, we unite with that. We are that which God is. And so that holiness, that light, that peace, that joy fills us. And those are the first two steps. And if we could just embody those two, we wouldn't even need the rest of it. If we could fully embody them. If we could live from that breath, if we could act from that place, if we could vote from that place, decide from the first two steps, then we actually wouldn't need all the rest of the prayer. But until we are there, like Jesus was he was a mystic, a fully orbed man. He truly was one. The Father and I are one. He said this. He was one with the wisdom of the divine. But that's okay, because there's a lot more to the Lord's Prayer to help us out, which we'll go over in the next few weeks. We teach in New Thought that all the time that we are one with God, connected with all things. This is a unified field that we live in. And that is the message of this morning. And my question is your connection like a cobweb or steel cables? So interesting that our reading this morning, the word cobweb came up because I did not know it was going to be in there. And I'm like, okay. So really, is your faith that of steel cables, or is it that of cobwebs? If you have the idea of connection of who you are just in your head as an intellectual exercise, like, oh yeah, I believe in God, you know, the very basic, then our faith is like a cobweb. It's held together. Our life then will be held together by a cobweb. The slightest little offsetting thing will throw us completely into a tizzy because we have not built up those steel cables of faith. If you live by the power and knowing that you are a child of the divine, you are a child of God, if you live from that realization that the breath of life created you and that you are a holy being of light, you will be fortified with a strength that's even greater than the steel cables. It's that knowing. And that is what this prayer is inviting us to do, to deepen into those first two lines. The rest of it takes us much deeper into this experience of who we are and our understanding of the divine. So let's go deeply into it. This is the ending part, so I want to make it personal for each one of us here today, because to develop our faith to be that beyond steel cables is what we want to do. I think that's what I want to do. I'll speak for myself. I want to feel one with this divinity. I want it to sustain me in those times in life when you are on that roller coaster and you just hit bottom and you got to come back up again. I want to know that there is a power for good that is there for me. This is the true way I want a religion. This is the true way I want a spirituality. I don't mess around with it, and I think a lot of you in here don't mess around with it, because it is such a gift that we give to ourselves. It is so, it's just beyond words. It's so powerful to have that within us. So what I want us to do is to close your eyes for a moment. I'm going to read the whole prayer again. Just take it in. O thou, from whom the breath of life comes, who fills all realm of sound, light, and vibration, may your light be experienced in my utmost holiness. Your heavenly domain approaches. Let your will come true in the universe, just as on earth. Give us wisdom for our daily need. Detach the fetters of fault that bind us. We let go of the guilt of others, and let us not be lost in superficial things, but let us be freed from that which keeps us off from our true purpose. From you comes the all-working will, the lively strength to act, the song that beautifies all and renews itself from age to age, sealed in trust, faith, and truth. And that is the prayer that we are going to deepen into this month, and continue to remember that we truly are the breath of life, that which breathes us is the all-knowing, all-loving presence of God itself, of the source of life, of the beauty, of the joy, of the infinite possibilities that are available to us. And I hope all of us can hold in our heart the faith that is beyond even a steel cable, the faith that we are one with the goodness, that we truly are one, and we are only responsible for cultivating that within ourselves. So that's what I have for you today. Thank you.